Hi and welcome to Quedgeley Town Wildlife Reviews. Today I'm doing a re-review of the PMR 100 trail camera. This is the PMR 100 trail camera. The PMR 100 trail camera is available on Amazon. It's also available on sellers like Banggood and eBay. So if you hunt around for PMR 100, you will find that there are many different sellers selling the PMR 100 at different prices. Some PMR 100s come with the SD card, depending on the seller, and some PMR 100s come without the SD card. At the beginning of the intro to the video, you will have seen that there are also many different patterns for the PMR 100. They come in many different camo patterns, and if you do a search for PMR 100 trail cams on the internet, you can find many different sellers selling the trail cam in various colors, and you will also find that they are selling it at various prices. Now, these cameras come from China. They are all the same. They come in different colors depending on I presume that the seller over in China selling to the retailer companies probably gives them a choice of pattern, what pattern they want. So these cameras come in many different patterns. They come at different prices, so obviously it's down to the retailer at what price they sell it for. I bought mine from Surgery, and the reason I bought them from Surgery on Amazon is that they came with the SD card. But doing further research, looking around at different sellers, having a look on places like Amazon, eBay, Banggood, there are many retailers that are selling these cameras for a little bit cheaper than what I bought mine for. I paid £30 with an SD card for my camera. But if you shop around and find a pattern that you like, depends what camo pattern you want, you can buy these cameras for around about £20. SD cards, they take a 32GB SD card, and you can pick those up for around £5, but to get a class 10 SD card, you need a class 10 SD card for the best quality recordings on the camera. Now the camera itself, I will give you read out the descriptions on the box of the specs, explain a bit more to you about these specs. The camera has 26 PCS LED lights. These are the little infrared lights, and the video resolution is in 1080p. Photo resolution for the camera is 12 megapixels. The lens focal is 6mm, and it does 120 degree focal length on angle, so it can do 120 degrees area. The PIR, which is the infrared sensor on the camera, can pick up to 15 meters, which is quite a good distance. The PIR angle of the sensor is also 120 degrees. This is where the camera lets you down a little bit. The trigger is 1 second, a 1 second trigger, whereas a lot of other cameras are lower than that and can trigger a lot faster. This camera is a little bit on the slow side. It takes 1 second before it actually triggers. The video length can be from, I think it's about 5 seconds all the way up to 30 seconds. You actually, with this camera, you have to go into the settings on your computer. You plug the camera into the computer using the provided USB cable, and then you go into a file called time, and you can adjust the settings of the camera there. You can adjust how many photos it takes, how many seconds it takes to take photos, whether it takes photos, video, or photos and video. So all the settings on this camera are actually in a file which you can access via your PC. I will show you a screenshot of the file and the folder, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later on how to set it up. This camera also has a standby time of 8 months, so you put 4 AA batteries in there and it will last on standby. So say it didn't take any photos, it will last on standby for about 8 months. So it takes 4 AAA batteries. It is also waterproof to IP56, so the camera is waterproof. And now we will unbox this camera and show you a little bit more. Right, so if we open the box and see what's inside. Right, inside you get the camera in a plastic bag. Right, these cameras, they take a mini SD card. Don't know whether you can see that. They take a mini SD card. So we put this mini SD card in. We'll put the mini SD card in. I'll bring that closer. You'll see there's a slot for a mini SD card and a slot for the cable. Inside is a little switch. You can switch it on or off. On there, it's a little door which just latches with a screw. You just screw that back on, and there's no screen inside this camera. There are your 26 LED lights. That little green light there, that's the sensor for letting the camera know when it's night time, and it will go into infrared. Now there's your sensor there. All of these cameras, you'll find that they'll have a bit of film over the PIR sensor. Remove the film off the PIR sensor and then you will be able to operate the camera. If you leave it on, it will affect the sensing of the camera and it won't be able to pick anything up. There you can see the lens of the camera. Now on the back of the camera you have got slots there, and that's for holding the camera to a tree with a strap that is provided. I'll show you all that in a minute. It also gives you another point there. You can fix this to a tripod, or if you got a camera mount that you can fit to a wall, it'll fit on that and you can use these cameras as a security camera for your home. Underneath, as well as the door opening on this little screw, if you push that, that opens up to allow you to put batteries in it, and then you just shut that back up and your batteries are in there. There's your on-off switch. There is your cable connector switch slot, cable connector slot, and just below it is the SD card slot. Now be careful when you put the SD card in, because sometimes it can be a bit awkward to get in. Right, so let's put in the card. Hopefully I'm putting it in the right way up. Right, there we go. I've put the SD card in. It's better connecting the camera switched off, though you can connect it switched on. I wouldn't recommend it. So this rubber cover is a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. It's useless really, because you're not going to be connecting it while it's on. Well, you can do if you want to, but I wouldn't do it because it does bugger up your settings a little bit. So all that said and done, it's a nice little camera. It is low cost. I pay £30 for this, but you can pick them up shopping around, having a look at all the different sellers and find the camo pattern you like, and you can pick them up for around £20 for the camera, and then if you look around for a 32 gig SD card, you can pick them up for around about a fiver or just under. Now you get provided with a tree strap to attach the camera to a tree. Also, that comes with the camera is your connection cable to connect to the computer, from the camera to the computer. You get a mini SD card reader as well if you want to remove your SD card and connect it that way, but I don't bother, so that doesn't get used. You get a little instruction manual. You will get a little instruction manual with your camera, and some people find this difficult to understand, but it's quite simple to actually program this camera or take the pictures off. It's quite simple to use. You plug that into the camera, make sure it's in the off position when you plug it in, and plug the other end into your laptop or computer into the USB port. Once it's plugged in, this is where a screenshot will come up. I took a photo screenshot of what you'll see. You'll see that it'll probably come up as F drive. So you open the folder to go into the camera on we'll say F drive because mine comes up as F drive, and you will see 3 folders. One, there's a folder saying video, there's a file saying temporary or temp, and then below that there is a little notepad folder with time written on it. Now if you go into that folder, double click, go into that folder there, we'll show you on another screen that folder. So you go into there, you will see the year, the month, the day, the time, and then you will see a code just after that. Now every time you connect this up and go into that file, you will need to reset the date and the time, because as soon as you open that file it reverts back to its default. So you change your date and your time, get that set up. Now the important bit on the code is how you adjust the camera. The first one is the mode. The first number that you see after the date and time is the mode. Now this one, you've got different settings depending on what number you put in for that mode. So we'll quickly look at the mode settings. If I can find the page, and I'll explain it to you. Right, the first digital number, if it's in number 1, it's in photo mode only. If it's in number 2, if you put a number 2 there, you will put in video mode only. If you change that number to a 3, it will take a pictures and video. So if you want pictures and video, you change the first number to a number 3. If you just want video, change the first number to 2, and if you just want photos taken, change the first number to number 1. The second digital number, if it's in 1, you will only take 1 photograph. If the number's 2, it will take 2 pictures. If the number's 3, it will take 3 pictures. If the number is in 4, so if you put a number 4 there, it will take 4 pictures. And if you change that to a number 5, it will take 5 pictures. This camera is good at taking pictures. It will take up to 5 photographs. So if you just want to use camera mode, it's pretty good for that. You'll take up to 5 photos every time the camera is triggered. So after a second, the camera will take the photos. Right, and the last digit, the last number, the third number across, this is for your videos. If you put a number 1, the video will run for 5 seconds. If you put a number 2, the video will run for 10 seconds. If you put a number 3, the video will run for 20 seconds. If you put a 4, the video will run for 30 seconds. Now, depending on how you want to use a camera, if you just want to use video, you can set the amount of time it records for. If you want to do photos, you can set the amount of time it records for. If you want to do both, what I would do, because the trigger is a slow trigger, it takes a second on the trigger, what I would do is set it for 1 photo and 20 seconds. That seems to work for me. That seems about the best for both worlds. If you want to have a photo and a video, just get it to take the 1 photo and then the video after. Because I have noticed if you get something go past the camera pretty quick, the photo will capture it, and then you won't get nothing on the video straight after, because it takes the photo first, then the video, if you're in photo video mode. So keep that in mind. If you want to take photo and videos, I would only take 1 photo, set it to 1 photo, and then set it to video. 20 seconds is about right. 30 seconds depends, it's up to you if you want a 30-second video, but I find 20 seconds is ideal for wildlife photography. So this cheap little camera is available on Amazon. It's also available on Banggood and also on eBay. Shop around, just enter the search for PMR 100 trail camera, and you should get a list of sellers selling this camera, and the prices vary. The camera itself originates from China, so it's mass produced in China and then sold to smaller sellers, and they sell it under their own brand name. So obviously this one was sold under Surgery, so it's a Surgery camera, but it's not. It's they're all the same. Just look for PMR 100. For low cost camera, it's very good. Now I will put up some photo and video footage that has been taken with this camera, and there is one thing that I have noticed. Being it's a cheap camera, it's not as good as some of your more expensive cameras, but it does do video and sound, and the videos and sound are pretty good quality. They're not too grainy. They're pretty good in quality. That's both day and night, pretty good quality, but there seems to be a bit of problem with colour. Indoors, the camera will video and photograph in colour. I will put a photograph that I have taken of the camera taking a photo indoors, and it does do it in colour. When you're outside, I found when it's set up on a tree that there seems to be, the sunlight seems to wash out the colour, and you seem to get like a general, it's like ultraviolet sort, you know, like a purple sort of colour view. It's as if you're looking through a coloured lens, like a purpley colour. You can still see make out some colours, but green and that seems to be washed out in this purple sort of colour. So when you look at the video, you'll see what I mean. If you have video editing tools, what you could possibly do with that, you could probably change if you don't like the purple look, you could probably change the video into a black and white film, and it would change it to black and white as if you were using a black and white camera. I have done this with photos. I will put an example of its photo during the day compared with converting that to a black and white image, so you can choose whether you're quite happy looking at a purple tint or a black and white image. So you can adjust that yourself through your editing stuff, your camera editing or your video editing programs. You can change it to a black and white camera. So here we have two PMR 100s, and they're set up on my tree stand. The bottom one is connected with the provided strap, and the top one is connected with my little modification using some stainless steel cable ties to create a cable lock system. Now this gives you a third option now, as well as the mounting bracket option. You have 3 ways to fit your camera to a tree. All 3 systems work very well depending on what you want to use the camera for. Obviously we'd use ours for the wildlife, so it's left out in the woods and we need a secure system, so that's why I designed the cable locking system for this camera. Quite simple to make. We used a Hilker lock, cable lock. We got this cable lock, it's 4mm by 3000mm security cable, and it's perfect for locking your trail cameras to a tree. It's quite cheap. You can pick these up on Amazon for £5. I will show you photos of how the cable lock is attached to the tree, and also how the traditional cable strap holds the camera to the tree. To make the locking system, you will need some tools. You will need some stainless steel cutters. You will need a vise if you've got a vise. If you haven't, then you may need something like pipe grips to help you hold the cable ties while you pull the cable ties tight to make loops. And you will also need a very good pair of pliers. The stainless steel, if I can find them, I've got them somewhere. There we go. Now I'll take my bag, show you. The stainless steel cable ties are pretty good for making loops. They're used in car engineering for fixing pipe work on vehicles. They are very strong. You've got to be careful you don't cut yourself with these, because they are sharp once they've been trimmed to size. But as you'll see in the video, I've shown you how they are looped together. I put one cable tie through the mounting bracket on the camera, through the strap bracket, and then through that cable tie, which has been tightened down pretty tight. Still a little bit of a gap so it can be moved up and down. I attach another cable tie, make another loop, and this allows you to fit a cable through it. Make sure you, when you do fit your cable through it, that you can get the fittings through. So don't make the loops too small. Make them adequate that you can get your cable through properly without any problems. And you just attach it to a tree and lock it with a lock, and it works pretty well. These are around about 15-16 quid, maybe more. Whereas this little cheap little cable from the same place, from Amazon, the Hilker cable lock, only cost me £5, so you get what you pay for. But there we go. And we hope that you enjoyed watching Quedgeley Town Wildlife and this little review on the PMR 100. And catch us again. Watch a few of our wildlife videos. Please like, subscribe and ring those bells.